Hello, this is J.N.S, and today we are continuing with the Revolutionary series, and we are covering a very special lady today, and her name is Cress Welsing. Now, she is one of my favorites, and again, we're doing this series because we want to encourage our culture to promote people who stand up, to promote people who stand up for justice, who stand up for their lineage, who stand up for their human rights. And because we want to be inspired by that and always remember to stand up anytime there is injustice. So this is for the Black American youth who may not know who some of these figures are that we covered. You may be too young, or even just a refresher for those who are older, who have lots of experience and know who these people are. So Cress Welsing, she is very dear to my heart. I actually went to one of we used to have like a tribute for her in 2000, when she died, I believe in 2015 or 2016. Yeah, 2016. There was some tributes in Atlanta to celebrate her birthday, and I would go to those events. This was like a very small conscious community type of event that was thrown. And, we would go. I remember Jewel Program spoke at one of the events. Jewel Program, I don't know if you guys don't know her. She is such a brilliant mind. Very different and very inspirational to me. That always stood out to me. But Cress Welsing was honored. And I remember we had some vendors. There was Black American vendors, obviously, and then there was a session to just honor her memory, and that was pretty much what it was about. And I also went to another event where we honored her on her birthday. That was at a poetry cafe, and we again kept her memory alive. I remember I had the Cress Welsing earrings. Yes, there were some earrings with her picture on them. I wore them bad boys to the ground. They were made of wood, but then they had like a picture of her on there. It was laminated, and I wore those earrings like no other. I mean, those are one of my favorite earrings. I wore them till they wore out. So, I always admired this woman. So I want to cover her story, cover a bit about her. Remember, we're doing the Revolutionary series so that we can honor those who stood up, and those who didn't really, who may not be mainstream, as far as like we know Martin Luther King is mainstream, or someone like Rosa Parks. We want to get into some of the ones that the grassroots honor as well, because I am from the grassroots. I grew up in Buffalo, New York. I was born in Rochester, but I was raised in Buffalo since the age of 4. And, my life was very different from the average Black American, to say the least. But I made it. I'm here, and I'm in my right mind. I'm in good spirits. And that is what's always important. And I wish you all to be in good spirits and in your right mind, right? So let's cover Cress Welsing. I don't know who else we're going to do next. We think we should do Assata Shakur. I don't know. I'm going to go into some affirmations. I really want to get into uplifting the vibration of this community. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a series on some affirmations for self-esteem, confidence, abundance, getting rid of depression, dealing with anxiety. I love to do affirmations, so we'll get into that for a bit, and then we'll add to the series as life goes on, because there's going to be plenty of more to do. We have plenty of revolutionaries, so we'll add. We have Winnie Mandela coming up, even though she's not from Black American culture. She's a icon of mine, so we're going to cover her. Then we going to go into the affirmations. We'll do affirmations for a couple of weeks, and then we'll do something different. We'll figure that out as we go. But this series will not end. We will continue to uplift people. I have to always be inspired, though. Like, this was inspirational for me because of the vibration that I'm in. because the vibration I'm in, I wanted to uplift revolutionaries. I wanted to remember those who stood up. That was just the space that I was in. So, that's where a lot of my videos come from. If you notice, I don't follow trends. I don't really get into the fray of things. Sometimes I wish I could, but it's just not my energy. It's just not. I just like to put out what goes in, so I understand the fuckery and, like the stuff that be going on. Like, I didn't even cover nothing about, like, the Tory Lane situation or nothing like that with the Megan and all that. And, what was it, when Kanye West was going all off the rails and stuff. Like, I saw it, but it's like, I just didn't feel propelled to comment on it. Like, I didn't feel propelled to do a whole video on it. And I was like, well, maybe I would be more popular as a YouTuber if I did get into commentary on trending topics and stuff. And if I was to break that down maybe in a more, scholastic way. I'm not sure, but like, I also have to stick true to myself because I really don't care for, I don't know, like, I don't really care for like the outside world stuff and then bringing it into, my home and to cover it. I don't know if that would be, sticking to who I am. I think I would do lives on it because sometimes I think about stuff throughout the day. I may start getting into lives and just go live for a bit to cover the topic and then put it separate from the videos. That way, those who come for the education and for the soul food get their soul food, because I am soul food. I am a huge soul food meal with mac and cheese, collard greens, neck bone, chicken feet, what else? Candy yam. Okay, that's what you get from me. I'm very intense. I'm very I come punching in hard with the intellectualism and the upliftment of my community. That is where my vibration is at. So, I don't have fast food to give you. I don't give you too much junk. Like, I can't give you something that's going to quickly satisfy you and you go on your way. So in that sense, I see the difference in, the work I produce compared to maybe say other people. And I don't compare myself because that's truly the robber of joy. You shouldn't ever compare. But I was thinking, like, maybe I should do some lives, on certain things to be more relatable, because I do want to be relatable to people. And I know I spend a lot of time in the omniverse. I really spend a lot of time in the exoverse. I'll be out there and I have to just me doing even like the revolutionary series, I have to bring my state of consciousness to a certain level. I have to, for people to even understand me, as a writer and some of the things that I truly want to talk about. I still have to bring it down so that I'm relatable and that people can understand me. But I'm always in the exoverse out there. So I have to always realize, like, you're still on planet Earth. You still have to relate to people and you have to build with people. And I want to get more into community organizing. That's one of the goals of mine. I have to get some training though. So one of the goals of mine for this year is to do some training on community organizing. So I can be more involved with Black Americans. I have been working on my anxiety. I've been working on getting out there more, because I have been afraid to put myself out there because, the public just rips people to shreds, So, but I don't want it to be to the point where it's debilitating, where it's keeping me from doing some of the work I really want to do for this community, which is more on the groundwork, of things that I envision for this community. So that is what we're going to get into eventually. That is my goal. I'll keep you updated on that as far as me doing my training, making sure that I know what the hell I'm doing, because I have to admit that is something I have to gain some more knowledge on. So we're going to cover Cress Welsing. I'm not going to ramble anymore. Sorry for those tangents, and I love you guys. So let's go. So Cress Welsing, she was a psychiatrist, and we all know her for writing the ISIS paper. Now, she was born Frances Luella Cress in Chicago, Illinois on March 18th, 1935. Now, Welsing was the child of a physician, Henry Cress, and teacher Ida Mae Griffin. So she grew up the middle of 3 daughters, and she received her bachelor's of science from Antioch College in Ohio in 1957 and her medical degree from Washington, D.C.'s Howard University in 1962. So Welsing spent nearly 25 years working as a staff physician for Washington, D.C.'s Department of Human Services. And she was the clinical director of 2 schools that catered to children with emotional troubles. So you see, her work was amazing. She opened her own private practice in D.C. in 1967. So one of her goals was to help bring about a solution to the mental health problems of the Black community by understanding white supremacy and racism and its effects on the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. So Welsing published her first major work, The Cress Theory of Color Confrontation, and that was an essay that she published in 1974 while she was an assistant professor at Howard University. Now, people said this essay was controversial, but Welsing argued that the drive for white supremacy and superiority stems from a pervasive feeling of inadequacy and inferiority. Welsing claimed that this concept of whiteness, because we know nobody is actually white, was in fact a deficiency evidenced by the inability of whites and other races to produce melanin, what actually generates your skin color and your pigment. But pigment is skin color. In short, white people in America could not cohabitate peacefully with Black people, according to Welsing, because of a deep-seated jealousy of people with melanin and their embrace of racial supremacy to accommodate those feelings. So the minority status of whites has caused, what she said, a preoccupation with white genetic survival, because white people only make up about 8 to 10% of the world's population. The rest of the world is either Asian or Black, melanated rather. And it may not, the melanated people, and this includes melanated people from the Aborigines in Australia, India, Africa, South America, North America, the Caribbean. Most of the world is melanated, either with pheomelanin, which is the Asian prototype or phenotype rather, or the eumelanin, which is Black in substance, but it makes brown skin. Believe it or not, that essay caused her to lose her teaching position. So, Howard, what was they doing? Well, they I'm not even gonna get it. We ain't even gonna get into the HBCUs. We're not gonna get there. We're not gonna go there. So in 1991, Welsing published her most famous work, a collection of essays titled The ISIS Paper, The Keys to the Color, which discussed in depth the issues of white supremacy and racism in the United States. So in the ISIS paper, Welsing delved deeper into her theories of melanin deficiency among the Caucasian race as the driver of racism and white supremacy and white segregation. She wanted to understand, well, why does white supremacy exist? What is the methodology behind it? So she broke that down using analytical psychology. And in the process of psychoanalyzing this concept of white supremacy and racism, Welsing discussed the importance of recognizing racial behaviors and symbols amongst Blacks that were psychologically damaging, which needed to be countered and destroyed. So she came up with theories regarding psychoanalytical theories regarding, let's say, for instance, the game of pool. And how when you play pool, you got all these colored balls, and the white ball got to knock all of the balls, but the main ball that you want to knock is the black ball. And she talked about the concept of football, kicking the brown ball and playing around with the brown ball, the hockey puck. Those were all psychoanalytical concepts. When you can understand somebody's subconscious mind, that's where the gold is. And I agree with her on that. the study of the subconscious mind. When you study someone's subconscious mind, good or for worse, that's when you can truly understand people and systems that they come up with. I like analytical psychology anyways, so I understood her methodology and I understood her approach, where even though a lot of people try to discredit her, it's not like she was just a quack. Like, let's not act like Sigmund Freud didn't do the same thing, or Carl Jung didn't do the same thing in terms of understanding phenomena and understanding the subconscious mind. They did the same thing. They didn't come up with the same theories, obviously, but it's the same methodology is what I'm saying. And it's credible. So, you know, it was her losing her position. I find that strange, but you know, the world we live in, you know, the truth tellers, you always get hate when you tell the truth. So Welsing was an advocate for strong family units. She was a proponent of strong family units, just like me. And she advised Black men and women to delay having children until their 30s and instead take the time to thoroughly educate themselves as to rear the next generation of high functioning and disciplined Black Americans who could challenge white supremacy. Now, you know what? That's a good damn idea. That is a good idea. Now, I'm a proponent of the maturity of the Black American as well. Waiting for childhood, for child rearing, from my perspective, though, it's more to build up their economic base. I would prefer to see Black Americans saving their money, investing their money wisely in their 20s and working and saving their money, keeping their credit up, you know, because I have to reflect on my 20s and things that I didn't do and things that I learned. You know, I'm 30, I'm about to be 31, but you know, just things that I would go back and do, because hindsight is always 20/20 and you're always learning. So with me, I'm doing a lot of catch up myself, a lot of course correcting and from in my 20s. But what I would tell someone in their early 20s, please save as much money as you can. You know, start to get if you can get an individual investment account or even a Roth IRA. You want to start early with your savings. You want to pick good investments. You know, I don't want to get into like, oh, what you should choose or whatnot, because that's not, I'm not a financial accountant or anything like that. I know a little bit about it, but you know, I would say start to save that money, live below your means. Don't try to impress people. Don't try to spend all your money on wigs and clothes and shit like that. Save that money, invest that money wisely, have an emergency fund. Keep your credit up. Don't get a bunch of credit cards. Be very, very wise with credit, please, if you can. Don't take on a lot of student debt. If I can encourage people to do the state school, try to avoid private schools unless you're getting a full scholarship or grant. But go to state schools where it's very cheap. Take advantage of, you know, grant the TAP programs, or like the HOPE programs. Like if you're in Georgia, there's HOPE. If you're in New York, there's TAP. They give you like $5,000 per year. I think they rose it up to like $7,500. I'm not sure, maybe even $10,000 right now. But that's enough to pay for state school. And then you got Pell. So if you, I believe Pell is nationwide, right? So if you can get Pell, and you'll be able to pay for school without going into debt. Pick a major that is going to generate some income. Engineering, trade, vocational trades are also still nice. And STEM field, hard STEM, like software engineering, computer programming, nanotechnology, all of those things. I would encourage you, if you're in your 20s, don't fuck around. Don't fuck around. Put in the work now, so then when you're in your 30s, you're not scrambling to save your money and scrambling to fix credit and all that stuff. And I'm speaking from experience. Like, I'm just now working on things that I should have been working on years ago. But you know, at 30, you know, I still have some time. You know, so I'm not going to beat myself up too much. But for you, young 18, 19, 20-year-old, 21, 22, even 23, 24, you have time to always get into the good habit of saving some money, investing some money, working on making sure your credit is good, working towards, so when you can have children, you'll be able to find a home. You'll be able to buy a home with your spouse, and buy a home, have some stable income. At least if you got laid off for a year or something happened, you can, if you have a baby, you could take the whole year off, ideally. And I know that may be a lot of pressure for some people, but y'all want your income and your money to be where you can at least take that whole year off, at least. If anything was to happen, the woman should be able to take a year off and focus on breastfeeding that baby, raising that baby. And that man, maybe he can take some time off too. Maybe 6 months to a year off as well. I think that, maybe men are not really concerned with that. I don't know what they're preoccupied with, but they'll probably still want to work. Who knows? But I really want Black Americans to start to get into very good habits regarding finances and child rearing and relationships and outlook on life. Be very serious about it, because you don't want to scramble at the end. If you have to wait to your 30s, if you're in your 30s now, start now. Start to save now. Save a good chunk for 6 months just in case anything happened. 6 months to a year, if anything were to happen to you, you're good for that time. Start to look into passive income, residual income, those type of methods. Like, you can do drop shipping. You can, like with me, I write books. I do e-commerce. I do whatever I can. My YouTube is not monetized, but I do whatever I can to bring in passive income. And there's so many things you can do. You can trade. You can do cleaning. You can do so many things. But you also want to have some ways to also generate money, but from your own creativity. So whatever you're passionate about, think of a side hustle with that. And eventually, so not everybody's going to be a business owner, but if you want to get into business, that would be great. But, think of ways of residual income. Okay. So let's get back to our Frances Cress Welsing, because again, she was a component for strong family units. And, that to me is priceless. That is very good work she was doing. She was doing excellent work. And for her community, and everyday Black American males and females, you want to think of, am I putting a step forward in shaping the generations to come? Am I doing my part to rid this system of injustice and oppression? Am I doing my part to make this world a better place? And I know everybody's not concerned with that, but it really keeps you in alignment with your purpose, believe it or not, when you can think highly of yourself enough to say, well, what's my purpose? And I know I have purpose, and I know I'm supposed to be doing something around here on this planet while I'm still in this physical body. And am I making a step towards that purpose? Am I taking a step in productivity? When you think like that, you get a lot more done. So every day is like, am I bringing a win home? Am I bringing a win home for my culture, for my community, for my family? And that is how, if you think like that, you will get a lot done. Now, that doesn't mean do what other people want you to do. You have to do it from your soul. You have to work from your purpose, and harm none, but do what you want. And that's what gets you the golden egg. Okay. Do things from the soul, do things from your heart, with your purpose. Don't focus on what other people want you to do, but also keep in mind, what does a win look like, and what is a win for the generations to come in terms of culture and community and family. And that is how you want to parlay all of your ingenuity and creativity. You want to turn it into something that can actually work for you. But Frances Cress Welsing, she also believed that Black men are inadvertently emasculated by their mothers, often single women who coddle them in fear of what the fate will be in this hostile world. Now, I have to say, I agree with that. Black men are way too coddled in this community. The community is way too male identified. Believe it or not, it makes the community weaker. It makes the black community weaker. Yes, I am saying it when you coddle the men. Because this man goes out, it's like the black woman, she gives the black man these ego strokes. She gives him what is essentially tantamount to a fake toy sword. You can't go out in the real world with a fake sword against actual men who have real swords, who are running the infrastructure. And she's not teaching these men how to get in power and get in control of this infrastructure. And that's a problem. That's a problem when you have a bunch of men who I talk to black men all the time. I say, well, what's our plan for, getting in power? Let's come up with a plan. They're either scared to come up with a plan. They think I'm crazy. Oh, you're going to get us killed. You're talking too revolutionary. Oh, you're out of your mind. You're talking violence. I said nothing about violence. I just said, what is a plan towards autonomy and agency? How do you get your own autonomy? How do you get autonomy in a system where you as a black man has to go to this white man for food, shelter, for clothing, for education, for healthcare? And by that, I'm talking about the people who run this system, whether it's the electricity, the grid lines, the nanotechnology, the military, all these things. It's not ran by black people. I mean, we might be participants in the system, but then we're just participants in the system, but we don't own any of the infrastructure, any of the distribution and the manufacturing. So with me, it's like, my mind is always thinking about, like, how do you get, well, how do you own it? How do you get in power? How do you, that's where my mind is always thinking. Cause I'm not cut from, the typical cloth of the average woman or even the average man, the average human. So I don't be in denial of shit. If I see something that's not looking too good, my thought is immediately solution oriented. It's like, oh, how do you fix this? Can it be fixed? But when I start to talk with the men, I'm like, well, how do we get self-autonomy in terms of making sure you have your own sustenance in terms of clothing, shelter, food, water? If you can procure those things, then you can at least create parallel systems to their system. And alternative systems, now it doesn't mean that you're gonna just run. You're gonna be scotch-free of having to deal with them, but you can totally be in control of your destiny. You can totally be independent. So I always tell black men, you got to find independence within the system, because don't think that these women don't subconsciously know that you're dependent on another man's patriarchy. They may not say anything about it, but it's obvious. And it's frustrating, because if your preference is black men, or if you're dating black men or whatever, that's a hard pill to swallow as a woman. Most black women are not thinking that hard about things in life. Like maybe someone like me, who is a daughter of Lilith. Like I'm cut from a different cloth as a woman. I'm a thinker, and so when I see something like that, it's like, well, how do you get autonomy? How did you get it? How did we get in this situation? How do you prevent from getting in this situation again? And what mistakes? Because I know for a fact that there's no way that this system come into place without some black people contributing to it, or some black people doing some fuck shit. So I discovered that already, and that's been true. That's in history. It's documented of what really went down, of how we got in this situation. So it was like, oh, people were fumbling the ball there and got greedy and broke some covenants as well. So I see that. But then it's like, so nobody wants to study pre-colonial history. Black people don't want to study pre-colonial history, so they have no idea of their own infrastructures and their own governance systems. That's a problem. So then someone comes along like me, and I tell them, and it's like, oh, you're just, oh, that's some crazy stuff, because they're so brainwashed. They're gone. They're so gone by, I don't know, man. It's like, the mind is just gone. It's too colonized, too mentally enslaved. So then you're dealing with a bunch of mentally enslaved people, which is that they're traumatized, and then so you have to be compassionate towards that. As far as the traumatized, I'm compassionate towards the traumatized. I don't have much compassion for being mentally enslaved, because all of the tools to free yourself are there psychologically. So I have a harder time understanding, but I get it, because we all, it's a 24-hour apparatus to mind control people. There's mind control programming everywhere. It's very subtle, but it's everywhere. So I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then, so you have on one hand, you have the mentally enslaved. Then you have just people that are straight scared. When you start to talk about certain things, and I have seen people get like this fear just jump out of them, and I'm like, damn, I don't think we ever gonna get in power. Because I'm like, I'm just one person. I'm like, I can't, like, damn, like, if you got like millions of people that are like that, like the people I talk to, giving me their ass to kiss and telling me, look, we in this system, it is what it is. We just trying to survive. We just trying to get our next meal. We ain't got time to worry about white supremacy. White supremacy don't exist. This was what some black people told me. White supremacy don't exist. We just gotta live our lives the best we can. Meanwhile, you own nothing in the entertainment industry, nothing in the sports industry, nothing in the food industry in terms of, we don't control them grocery stores like that. We may have a couple black grocery stores here and there, but we don't control them grocery stores and that food and you know what I mean? And my thing is, you need sustenance. You need complete control over your own sustenance, which is your food, your clothing, your water, and your shelter. If you can control that, then you good, regardless of what systems it is, regardless if white supremacy was to exist or not to exist. You need control over those things. So when I tell black men that, they want me to baby them, straight up. I wish I had oh man, I talked to the group of black men a couple weeks ago. I wish I would have recorded that whole thing. I really did, because then people could really see, like, I'm not being dramatic, like, oh, they jumped out the window, they dragged me, oh, it was bad, oh man. I had straight facts. I'm like, let's come up with a plan, guys. A plan? You're trying to get us killed. I'm like, no, I'm not. All I'm saying is, like, let's come with a plan so that you can get more power, so that you don't have to answer to other men, so that you can be independent. They didn't want it. They thought they had no concerns about that. They wanted to fight and argue with black women and talk about Kevin Samuels. I said, damn, I'll be damned. All this work that I'm doing, I think it's for naught. Damn. I was really questioning my sanity. And I was talking with them for like 3 hours, and I said, damn, they really going. They are going. They just wanted the black woman in welfare. And I'm like, really? This what we doing as men? Nobody planning on, y'all not coming up with no infrastructure. You're not thinking of how you go get independent off this system. Even if you inside of this matrix and you say, I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna do this, or you want to leave the matrix. Like with me, I'm well aware that this is a matrix. I broke my programming, and so I go in and out at will. And I understand some things I use in the matrix to kind of entertain myself, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is what it is while I'm still on this planet. It's a mundane kind of situation. I'm obviously working on the evolution of my soul and my consciousness while I'm here, and before I transition to another dimension. But I understand that I'm still in a physical body, and I'm going to be inundated with the content of this world. So I engage accordingly with what I want to be in my mind and in my vibration, and what I don't want. So, when you're in this matrix, sometimes you could really just get in it. Like, you're just gonna, play the money game, play the politic game, do whatever. That's your business. Some people, they're not. Like with me, I do a little bit of both. But I go out and, I get tired of being outside of it. Sometimes it can be very painful to be outside of this matrix. It really can. So then I go back in for a little bit. Okay. This is so mundane to me, and also equally as stupid, because you have a bunch of people that's mind controlled. So then you have to go back out. But my thing is, if you're a black man, which one do you want to do? You got a way to either or. Whether you're going to be in this matrix, you're going to invest in stocks, start a business, buy a home, be independent, be independent, try to do things for what your community needs. Most people don't think about the community, don't give a shit about the community. So we are dealing with that. You can do that, or you can completely go off the grid. You can buy some land, get a farm, live completely off this grid, get away from technology, eat organic foods, get far away from the matrix as soon as possible, and work on more of the shamanic life or whatever. Those are options too. you need certain skills on both sides. You're going to need carpentry skills. You're going to need farming skills. You're going to need hunting skills if you're outside of the matrix. And if you're inside, you're going to need skills that help you go along inside of that matrix. Whether that be knowing how to invest in stocks if you're in the stock market. If you're into the stock market, knowing how, having some skills such as like computer engineering, whatever. But the pushback that I get from just something as simple as, what's your plan towards autonomy? It's unbelievable. I'm like, damn, our people are gone. It's heartbreaking. It's like, they so far gone. And then it's like, well, as a woman, I could just worry about myself and just, I don't have to be dealing with all of this. I could just worry about myself and just go, just focus on me. But I've never been that way. I'm totally for building community. I'm totally for wanting to see Black Americans thrive. Like, I don't like Black Americans in the bottom of a caste system. I don't like that shit. I don't, because I know that it's not fair. And I know that we are more special than that, and that we should be running things. Like, I'm not trying to, gas your head up or something, but we should really be running things because we're fair people. We know how to create structures. And when I see the shriek towards leadership, that is dangerous. And I know many of you say nobody should be a leader because you're going to get targeted. You're already targeted. Who gives a fuck? It can't kill us all. What if you all embrace leadership? What if we're all the leader? What if everybody says they're a leader? Then what? So you should never say, oh, no, nobody is the leader, because then you're shrieking a hierarchy system. You need hierarchy in systems. You need structure in systems. You need enterprise in a system. Somebody has to stand up. So if you promote that there should not be any leaders, then there's no organization and there's no infrastructure. Nobody stands up and take responsibility. There's no responsibility, believe it or not, when you subconsciously put in your mind that no one's going to be the leader. I'm not the leader. I'm not the leader. You have to be the leader. You have to. But what you have to say is, we're all the leader. You're all the leader, motherfucker. Everybody is a goddamn leader in this bitch. They can't kill us all. What are they going to do? If you're all the leader, what can they do? So you all have to be the leader. You all are the leader. You have to do it that way. You can't say no one is the leader. You have to say we're all are the leader. All 40 million Black Americans are the leader. We're all going to stand up. Then what? So that's more empowering that's way more empowering than saying that you're not the leader, because you're all on the list any goddamn ways. They got a satellite that can see the goddamn pimple on your goddamn nose. They could got a damn mosquito bug that got robot. That's a robotic mosquito robot that come right in your motherfucking room and sting your ass and kill your ass. Like, come on, with anything that you do with surveillance, whether you standing up or not, you already in the panopticon prison. You just can't see it. Now I know I go a little far out, but for those of us that broke the code to this matrix, like, you see this shit. It's like these humans are completely cattle. It's like, it's fucked up, but it's like, god damn. It sucks. It really does. It's mentally taxing sometimes, but so we're all the leader, and you are all destined for greatness. Now you have to say that. You have to tell yourself that. Like, yes, leadership is never to be shunned away from. In Black American community, never. You are all the leader. All 44 million of you all are capable. You all are great. You all are going to stand up. If not, then you deserve to be at the bottom. I said it. If you can't stand up for yourself, put your best foot forward. If you that goddamn scared, if you that goddamn weak, then you deserve everything that's happening to you. Because I know for a fact that I've been trying to encourage everyone to live their best life and put their best foot forward in fairness and equity for this Black American. Now, there's a lot of work to do. You have to nation build. You literally have to nation build from scratch. You have to build your own ethnic enclaves. What do you think you're gonna do? You can't just sit. You cannot just sit in somebody else's system and somebody else's patriarchy and think your ass is gonna thrive. You cannot do that shit. That's not power. And I'm tired of, I don't want to be with my man and I know that they got to go out and work for another goddamn system. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. I don't. Now, the average black woman is too damn simple-minded to even know what the hell is going on. So she's sitting there not holding you up to no high-ass standard. To be honest, a lot of this shit, I'm going to go there. Because Frances Cress Welsing, she was right. You coddled these men into weakness. You made them weak. You did this shit. And I know it was black women that did that shit because you so simple and male identify with your male identified ass that hate the sisterhood and hate the great mother and the primordial mothers, that you turned on your own kind to be a male identified mammy. And now you got these men wandering around here weak as hell and you still ego stroking them. You still not holding them up to no high standard. So that you still making excuses for everything they do. You excuse everything they do. Even if they pee on a 14-year-old girl, R. Kelly. And the community still want to act like that shit ain't never happened. Still want to act like it's the white man. The white man. Y'all keep going with that white man stuff. It could be... So, oh my God, just ridiculous the excuses that we give. The standard for manhood needs to be at a high level in this community. You can't come around me wanting to get between my legs and you haven't discussed marriage, child planning, child rearing, nothing. You just want to have sex and be short-sighted and you haven't thought about marriage and an infrastructure for your goddamn family. Then you got to go out there and work for this white man. Think we can't see that. Your whole dependence is on this white man. And we understand, okay, you got conquered, whatever, but okay, it's time to get unfucking conquered. Because you ain't coming home to me and I can't deal with it. You got to be independent. You got to be independent. And that is not to say that you got to be rich or you have to have a bunch of money and all this stuff. But your ass got to be independent. I don't care if you're making $30,000 a year working for your goddamn self. Shit, we'll make it work. As long as you're working for yourself. Like, to me, it's a turn off. Like, to see that men got this living off of other men's system. Conquered by another man. I don't like that shit. No, hell no. That's why I covered Thomas Sankara and Darren Sills, because that's, for me, I'm gonna bring it down. But for me, that's what I like. That's just my personal thing. Maybe other women don't give a shit about that, but this community would be far better off if you had men like that than men like Boosie Badass or men like R. Kelly. If you had men that stand up, that's like, look, I'm with the shits, bring it. We riding out for this community because we have to put the community first. I believe in starting my own business. If you got black men that's like, I believe in working for myself and doing my own thing, getting off of this system. I believe in answering to my own self. I'm my own man. I ain't living off of no women. I ain't trying to bash no women or beat up beside the head of a woman and get a woman pregnant without marrying her. If you got a bunch of men that's like that, you think this community will be looking the way it look? But guess who has to demand it? The women. It's the black woman that has to say, you know what? No. We need higher standard in this community for everybody. Because to be honest, a lot of this, you making these demands around here about, oh, this woman needs to submit. She needs to submit. But she sees you out submitting to the white man every day. And she see you out there answering to him, going to his jobs, going to his school, going to his grocery store, going to his doctor, going to another system. It's not your own system. You don't run this infrastructure. You need to run it. You don't run this infrastructure. You don't own a manufacturer. You don't own a distribution of goods and services. So you're gonna have a hard time subconsciously getting these women to submit to anything. And then that's not even our system. That's not even a black people system. That's a white people system. As far as this idea of this submission thing, because that come from Abrahamic religions that were redacted. The original text of those religions do not say what you think they say. You've been brainwashed by Western patriarchy pretty much and want to emulate the white man's system. That's all it is. So it's not even a normal system to even say, to tell black men who are naturally egalitarian. Black men are naturally egalitarian, just like lions, elephants, whales, dolphins. This is your nature. The gorilla is a natural egalitarian. So when you coming around here wanting to tell this woman some Kevin Samuel shit, like you're gonna get pushback. You're gonna look crazy because you need to study pre-colonial history. You need to study pre-colonial history, understand how we got into the system, understand your own social structures, then study nature, get into some occultic sciences, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. But yes, you need to remember, food, clothing, shelter, and housing. That's all you need. You can learn carpentry. You can build your own house. Get your small piece of land. You don't always have to be all rich with Lamborghini, Mercedes. You don't need all that to live a peaceful. You don't need all that to live a peaceful life. To live a life of abundance. Just some land. Get you some soil. Start to grow your own food. Know how to fish. Know how to hunt. Get you a shotgun. Just real simple life. You don't need all what everybody else tell you need. Start a plumbing business. Start do some electric wiring. Do some contract work. You know what I mean? So it's not like you gotta have all of this 6-figure and all that stuff to be a man. No, because that's fiat currency. That's not even real money. It's monopoly money. If you want the money, if you're in the matrix and you want big money, that's your business. I'm not judging that. The average black man that maybe you're working with certain finances and certain tax bracket, whatever. There's ways for you to get off this system completely. So you can be independent. Then look up how you can procure your own water. Rainwater. Transpiration method of getting water. All types of way to collect your own water. Make sure you know how to collect your own water. Make sure you know how to hunt. Make sure you know how to build your own shelter. Then textile making. Know how to make your own clothes. Okay? I don't care what material it come from. Long as you made it yourself. Put it on your body. Don't let this world brainwash you enough to where you think you gotta always be so dependent on another man. No. You're gonna do this. You're gonna be independent. You're gonna have to be, because you gotta figure out a way to get back in power, man. You gotta be thinking of a way you're gonna get back in power. And if you don't want to, if you're too scared, if you say no, you talking crazy, then so be it. But just know that there's women out here that know that shit. And eventually you're not going to have much excuses, because we're moving in a different paradigm, moving into the age of Aquarius, the age of Saturn. This is the age of the Chrome mothers. This is the age of primordial mothers. This is the age of the daughters of Lilith. So there's a very different energy of the divine feminine that you're going to see. The dark divine feminine is what you're going to see. Dark divine feminine needs kind of the melanated energy, the melanated divine feminine. We're in that age, and the age of the cosmos. So it's going to be very hard for you to continue with the way that you're going, especially if black women start to study pre-colonial history. And you're very, very lucky that most black women are simple-minded, and that they don't want to, that they themselves don't, they're brainwashed too. They're brainwashed by Western pedagogy and patriarchy themselves. They're brainwashed, so they're not studying shit. They don't know shit. So you're very lucky in that sense that they don't know the history of how we even got into the situation. When I say lucky, I mean like it's in terms of being able to give some of the excuses that you give, or some of the behaviors that you have. Because if she did know, they would be like me. They will be demanding that you get in power, and they will be putting moratoriums on their wombs. Womb management will be a thing. You'll see more marriage rates. You will see certain demands from the women in order to get access to the vagina. Seriously. And you will see a egalitarian system being in place. You would understand governance and how governance should be ran as well. So it's unfortunate that she doesn't know, because if she did, she would realize, like, hold the hell up. I'm totally. She would activate her genius and start to come up with ways of governance of getting back in power as well, or because of what she had in the past. But since she's not, she believes herself that Western patriarchy is the way, in terms of emulating it. They both of you guys are guilty of this. Black men and black women are guilty of this, and for that, there is consequences of that. There are cosmic consequences of that, because now you're not honoring your own covenants. So, if what I'm saying is too much to ask, then you deserve absolutely everything that happens to you, because you have to find a way out. Every day I'm working on independence, every day. And I'm not saying I'm doing good at it, because I'm not the best salesperson. I'm not the best marketer, and I know that. So I'm trying to get with the right people who have sales skills and marketing. I'm just a creative. I'm an extremely creative woman. I mean, I have extremely creative ideas. But as far as like when it comes to selling, it's not natural to me, because I'd just rather be out in the wild, in the nature, butt naked somewhere, just growing my own food and living my own life. Like that's ideally what I like to do. That's how I would live. But that's not realistic. You have to still take care of yourself, and we live in a system of capitalism. So with that comes, obviously, you have to have income. It's unfortunate that we don't live off of nature, because you're supposed to just go outside, go to a tree, get some fruit, get some veggies, and call it a day. But no, you have to pay for your food, you have to pay for your water, you have to pay for your electricity, all of this stuff that's in the matrix. So that it requires us to have one foot in and one foot out, so I don't mean any harm when I talk like this. I know it's intense. I know it may be uncomfortable. It's like, why are you doing this? But at the same time, the truth will set you free. Because all I'm saying is, every day think of a way to get yourself independent. It don't have to be, Western patriarchal independence, in terms of like, I need to have like all this money, all these cars, and all these houses. Not necessarily. You can get some land, you can do it real small, you can start plumbing business, you can start a small practice, you can start any whatever field you're in, you can start something real small and start to save up, start to, and be your own man. That's all I'm encouraging, is complete independence and autonomy and agency for black men. That is what I would like to see. I would like to see that. That's how you can get a sense of empowerment, and then to support one another more, to support your community more, to support your women more, and have that network of support, so that you guys can pull each other up and stop being such crabs in a fucking barrel and getting jealous of each other that got a little more, getting jealous of somebody because they work more, they got a little blessing, they got a nicer house, and you get jealous, you don't want to work with them, you try to sabotage them and all that stupid shit. Black people got a bad habit of doing that shit too. But you should be happy when you see people with wealth. You should be happy when you see people with more, because it's good to have in your network, and it doesn't mean they're going to give you anything or you need anything from them, but you want to be around success. You want to be around people who have abundance, because that energy rubs off on you, and then you get to the next level by having people in your inner circle that can get you to the next level, that can mentor you, that can put you in positions with the right people. So you absolutely don't want to be a hater, and black people got it real bad with that jealousy. They've been real bad with that, the women and the men, and I've seen it myself, and I'm like, God damn. So, that's another thing with the black men. Once you get your independence and your autonomy, you build networks to support one another and pull each other up. You move as a unit. Now, you should be also thinking of family and economy. So right now, like a lot of men said, what's the point of marriage? What's the point of marriage? It's not nothing wrong with marriage. You want to change the parameters of marriage from romance to economy. And that's where both people can benefit from it. Black people in particular, you want to benefit from marriage and economy, not marriage as romance. Marriage as romance is relatively a new phenomenon. It's less than 300 years old. But marriage for economy is thousands of years old. Like you marry because you want to put yourself in a better position economically. And so that's why people should be getting married. If you ask me, you should always, encourage love. I mean, I guess love is important. Love is important. Why not? But also, you want an egalitarian system. You want a marriage to be productive, so everyone has their function and roles, and you have to discuss that with your individual spouse based on what makes you comfortable. But once you do that, you should be moving as a unit to really procure more sustenance and make it easier for you and your spouse. That's what it should be about now. Some people have different ideas on that. That's your business. But for me, it's like, how do you use marriage to make the life load easier on both people involved? That would be, to me, that would be the reason to get married. But if we change it from these fairy tales, bullshit ass fairy tales of, oh, you're going to fall in love, then you're going to get married, and then the love is going to sustain you. No. Most people get divorced because of finances. So you should be marrying with finances in mind. That goes for the women and the men. You should be marrying. And if the woman may not have as much finances as you, what can she bring other than that? Does she have a lot of creativity? Does she have a lot of ingenuity where she can come up with passive income generation? She may sit home and work on that. Like with me, I write a lot of books. I can crack out books in a week. Like I write a lot, and it's not to say that I'm making a lot, because I'm not. Nobody makes a lot as an author, but it's passive income. It's something. There's a contribution there, and there's a legacy there for the rest of my life. Those books are out there. People buy those books. I wish they would leave as much reviews as I wish people would leave more fucking reviews. But nonetheless, people buy those books, and it's like, someone out there in the world has those ideas. So I'm spreading ideas, which is more important to me than the money. I'm spreading ideas out there that I want people to know. I'm uplifting people, because all my work is done in love. So I'm uplifting people, spreading my ideas, and making some passive income on a monthly basis. And I literally go to sleep, I wake up, there's a book sales, so that's pretty cool, so if you want your woman to think of ways to generate those passive incomes or residual incomes through her creativity. Women have a lot of creativity and ingenuity in their wombs and in their mind. They're very ingenious. Don't ever think that women are dumb. Women are extremely intelligent. Society kind of discourages intelligent women. But believe it or not, Black people embrace that. That's why I always say study pre-colonial history. Being insanely intelligent as a woman and being even assertive in certain tribes in Africa, particularly West Africa, and in the Americas, this was not frowned upon by Black people. And I can prove it, and I have the research to prove this. These were not things that were frowned upon at all. This was actually encouraged, because it's like, shit, at least we can get somewhere with this type of woman. And it was very much encouraged. So I encourage Black women today to realize that she's an ingenious being. She's an ingenious creature. She needs to focus more on giving birth to her ideas, witty inventions, come up with more inventions. And I know that's what Black women can do. So you want to get with the woman that has those type of ideas in her womb. That's not just focused on the mundane things, the shallow things, but legacy. And she's contributed to ways of her legacy, even if she's doing some damn baking and going and baking for the neighborhood and selling those fresh baked goods or fresh cookies and cupcakes, and that's still creativity. It's an element of creativity to do like, say, if you make those cakes and stuff. A lot of those, I have a friend, she makes amazing cakes with so much creativity into them, and she sells them. So it could be anything. She can be doing lashes, anything that helps put put the family in a better position, and she can do her nails, open up a little nail studio, have some clients. It's income. So you know, you want those type of women who are intelligent. Don't think that you want your woman just dumb, barefoot, and pregnant. So some women, they have a softness to them, and they may want a more patriarchal relationship. They want that and desire that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that if she gets a man that is qualified for that job and for that role. If he's willing and it's the right type of thing, and he's responsible, and he's said, I'll be more of the patriarch in a relationship, and I want you to do more of the housewife and child rearing. There is nothing wrong with that. Child rearing is a very, very tedious job. Like, that is no joke. I have raised a child before. I don't have children, but I helped raise the child from when he was an infant, and I put a lot into that. Like, it was fun to me, though. It was very fun. And I enjoyed teaching, and I used to just enjoy teaching my baby nephew. Oh, it was so fun to me. But it was a lot of work too. It was a lot of work, and I said, damn, I can't be no mom. Oh no. I was so happy every time his mom would come, and we all lived together, but I would be when she get off work, you know, because at that time I wasn't working, so I just had her baby all day. And I would be so happy when she got off work. You know, I'm like, ooh, to take the load off, because it was a lot. It was, you know, kids can be something else. So if a woman just is a housewife, you know, that maybe some women are just into that. That could be a thing too. But again, for Black men, what you want to take away from this is independence, autonomy, self-autonomy. Go after your passions and goals. Go after your passions. Be productive as possible. Save your money. Save your money. Invest wisely. Invest your money wisely. Don't drink. Don't smoke. If you're gonna drink socially, with friends, once a week. You know, just follow the path of being your own man. Get a woman out. Get a nice, intelligent woman who has some skills as well. Who's very kind. Or if you want a housewife, you can do that. But please get married. Start to think of economy and family. Start to think of economy and legacy with your marriage, and you guys will be fine. So, you know, that was a big tangent, but this is about Frances Cress Welsing. But what I would respect about her is that she encouraged a lot of high standards in the community, and I'm a proponent of that. And, you know, Frances Cress Welsing was a brilliant woman. I think that, you know, we have some divergent views. Not many, but we have some divergent views. With me, again, I'm big on the community being egalitarian, because I do know, me as a woman, I do know some of the ideas that I have. And I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, but I know that some of the ideas that I have for this community and things I want to do for this community is ingenious. And I'm willing to stand up as a leader. I don't give a fuck what happens. I know that I have that ingenuity within me to propel this community to great heights, to help be one of the leaders, not the only one, but one of the leaders that can help this Black community. And I want to do it. And I don't like how, like, male identified the community is, because the women don't get a fair shake when they stand up, I feel. I've been researching this, and I really dislike that, because it's like, then it's discouraging. That's why you don't have many women that you don't have many women that are like Frances Cress Welsing anymore. Yeah, women on Instagram with the bundle, 28-inch bundle, big BBL, and shaking and twerking and stuff, you know. And it's because of and it's because of the degradation of the real divine feminine, the dark divine feminine, the crone mothers. It's because of the women that are of higher order. The queen mothers are being discouraged in this community. The queen mothers are being degraded. The queen mothers are not getting a fair shake, because the Black community is too male identified, including the women. The women themselves are in competition with one another. They think that everything is about a man. They center everything around men. Men. They don't center things around governance and ingenuity and power. And that is why this Black community is at the bottom, because they're not centering their womanhood enough. And it's not a bad thing. It's not to say that it's discouraging of, it's not to discourage manhood or anything. Men need to center their manhood. Women need to center their womanhood. And they need to center infrastructure, power, ingenuity, those type of things, not things that are in this matrix. And that is what's, believe it or not, no, this is about consciousness. This is a war for the mind, body, and soul. And a lot of you have willingly given over your consciousness to the system, or you have willingly. And believe it or not, everything is mental. All is mental. So if you say, if all 40 million of you said you're the leader, and all of you stand up and all of you say, no more to white supremacy, oh, it will stop. It will end. It's about the vibration. It's about the frequency of your soul. Believe it or not, many of you want to be mentally enslaved, and you're okay with this system. You're okay with being at the bottom. You're okay with it. And you're scared and whatnot. So you get what is inside of the vibration of your soul. You get what's inside your mind. Your reality is going to reflect what's on the inside of your subconscious mind. And since I know that those codes to the universe, in terms of how you can shift it through frequency and mind power, I know that if we all said enough is enough, we all got on a code, we say, see the code, it's the leader, then you will rise. You would absolutely rise if you centered power, infrastructure, ingenuity, autonomy, and agency. Autonomy is your self-determination. That is your independence. You gotta center your independence. Okay, and for this Black woman, you gotta center your ingenuity, because I know you're thinking that your idea of what you would want is a man to, I guess he's gonna take care of you. Yeah, a man's gonna go in this he's gonna be patriarchal. This is what you want from Black men. You want the Black man to be patriarchal like this white man. You want him to do everything like this white man. Then you want him to take care of you like how you, like in the patriarchal sense. And I guess you're going to sit your ass at home and just raise kids or something. And you think that's the role of a woman. And that is insane. That's completely not aligned with history, with your own history. Maybe white people's history, but not African or American history. You're out of your mind if you think that that's the role of a woman. And you're going to sit, and I guess that's resting in femininity. When the feminine is active, they reverse the laws of electromagnetism, so you guys don't understand the proper law of gender. But melanated people did at one point. So then I guess you're going to rest in your femininity, and the man's going to work all day, come home, bounce you on his leg like a princess, and that's going to be love, and you're going to be able to rest in femininity. And these are the childish ass ideas in the Black community. Very childish. Because the woman is you give birth to men, and you are the creator of the human race, Black woman, and you're very ingenious. Like you are very, very ingenious in your womb and in your talents, and you have a lot to contribute to this community. You have great organizational skills. You have great planning skills. You have great balance skills. Yeah, you're gonna have to do more for this community. If you want to see empowerment, you're not going to be able to just sit your ass and make the same demands of a white patriarchal system and put that on Black men. You're not going to be able to do that. It's not going to work. It never did work. You don't have a history of doing it. You don't have a history of it. You don't. Now, if you study pre-colonial history, everything that I'm saying, I would be able to confirm it. You'll be able to confirm it. If either I'm telling the truth or I'm lying, study your own pre-colonial history, whether you're from African background or you're from indigenous background, from America, whatever background you're from, study your own pre-colonial history before contact with these Europeans. And you're going to see that you had an egalitarian system, or you had a matriarchal system, you had a diarchal system. And no, you were not just sitting in no hut, barefoot and pregnant, and the man just did everything. You contributed to society. You ran society. You had governance as well. So you're gonna have to get into the mode of doing some work around here if you want to see this community thrive. It's not just, oh, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, he's not. Make his ass do it. Where's the Queen Mothership? Where's the sisterhood? 10 is you outnumber Black men. It's like 10 Black women to 1 Black man. Y'all don't know how to implement a queen mothership anymore, a governance. I can teach you how and get this community back on track. It's only going to be done with the women. The women. Are you kidding me? You had an egalitarian system. But if you tell the black man, why you're not doing it like how the white man is doing it? Why you not running? Why you not then and then at the same time just making it seem like you don't have any control over your womb. You don't have any control over your governance. That is crazy. You don't have any control over your womb. So when you get pregnant, oh, why he do this? He left me. He did this. He did that. You don't know how to control your own womb. You don't know that you're God. So now you out here looking crazy and stupid, and now it's everybody else's fault. No. He played me. Why was you so playable to begin with? You are a woman. You are the goddess. You really are. You truly are the goddess. It comes with a big responsibility. Man, I can't wait to the days of the Saturn energy really permeates the Black American community, African community. I really cannot wait till the Chrome mothers really return these ancient primordial mother energy of Tiamat and Kali and Lilith. Who else? Durga, Oya, Oshun. We need those raw fire energy. We need Azili Dantor. Yes, we need those energies because that is what's going to get this community back on track. Them very powerful primordial energies. Sure are. And I can't wait because I'm going to be right there. Right in the front and center, rooting the primordial mothers on, because it's coming. It's totally coming for the Black community. It's totally coming. These energies are coming. That's why I'm trying to tell you, get in front of it. I'm trying to tell you, get in front of it, because the human race is going to all have to answer to that energy, and its vibration is shifting. So Black people, you want to get in front of that. It's already your systems. Don't follow their system. Follow your own system. So just remember, okay, Black woman, you're supposed to be running some things around here, Miss Lady. You're supposed to be have the governance in place. But remember, the Black man is also egalitarian. So you guys are expected to share the roles together. You guys are expected to share the leadership together and the governance together. It's not just all on the woman. It's not just all on the man. You never had a system like that where it was just all on the woman, all on the man. No, it was never like that. We've always had divine feminine, divine masculine in balance. So that's what you're going to have to do. Now, if they don't want that, now if you put the right foot forward, Black woman, and you see these men cowering, getting scared, not ready to put in the work and not ready to stand up, now I see why you bitching and hollering and moaning. Now it's time to do some more other stuff. Because if they ain't going to stand up, you standing up and they ain't standing up, then it's a problem. But if you do the right thing, and work on your shadow self, and you work on putting your best foot forward as well, and activating your God energy, activating the goddess, and they not doing nothing to activate the God in them, and they sitting on their ass still scared, they sitting on their ass still mentally enslaved, then I'll come back with a different message. But for now, to be honest, it's both of y'all asses that I see, and it's not a good look. Again, honor the Queen Mothership, honor your manhood, honor your womanhood, honor ingenuity, power, and infrastructure. And believe it or not, I know Frances Cress Welsing would agree with me. I know she would, because she has a brilliant mind. She may not agree with everything I say, but she would agree with a lot of it. She would agree with a lot of it because she influenced me. And I understand her work on the ISIS paper. I understand her work with her understanding white supremacy. My thing is, I feel like she didn't do enough on coming up with a counter intelligence or counter ways. We understood why it existed, and I think that was good. But then it was like, okay, so this is why Black people are doing this, because they're dealing with the traumatic effects of white supremacy. Okay, so how do we get out of this? How do we get up out of this system? That's why she said, That's why she was, I'm sure, had some suggestions. I'm sure she came up with something, but I know we need a plan. And I'm not saying nobody do nothing stupid or violent or anything. All I'm saying is we need a plan for autonomy. We need a plan for independence. We absolutely need a plan. And black men, you need to do some planning. Black women need to do some planning. And if I say I'm willing to help you guys, and you tell me you scared, or you tell me that you don't want to do nothing like that, and there is no such thing as white supremacy, and we not at the bottom of the caste system, and we not oppressed, so be it. So be it. You know, if you deserve everything that happens. If you're going to tell me that there's no such thing as oppression, and that there's nobody holding you back, in that sense, there's not, because again, it's a frequency thing. A lot of this is mental. So you can get up out of it individually. You really can free yourself individually. But collectively, I'm always concerned with the collective. But so collectively, we are in a caste system, or we're at the bottom of that caste system. That is what I don't like. But do I feel like there's a white person personally holding me back as colleague J.N.S. and I can't? No, I don't feel that. I don't, individually you can make it through the system. You know what I mean? But collectively, it's painful, and I don't like Black Americans being at the bottom. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. It makes me uncomfortable, and I feel like it's time for us to, get in control of some things, to be in control of our own lives. That's all I'm saying. So, friends, Cress Welsing, I think you are dope, and I do appreciate, the work you've done. Even though you may not get your fair shake. Again, that's what I'm talking about. When a woman come along, she give you some keys, and everybody just act like they ain't get the keys. So we need a documentary on her. We need a movie on her. We need more earrings on her, and she needs to be celebrated more. And anybody, any women. And any women that, may think like her, or that have her spirit, please don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. I will personally uplift you. I'm an uplifter of women. I want to see Black women empowered as well. Okay. I love the women's species. I love being a woman. I love the idea of the divine feminine, because I know the truth about the divine feminine. A lot of it is occult. A lot of this stuff is only privy to secret societies. I'm not initiated into any secret society or anything. But a lot of the information that I know comes from me having a direct connection with the primordial mothers, a direct line to them. And so I'm revealed information about the divine feminine. I'm revealed information about melanated people's codes, about Black men, about Black women. I'm revealed downloads on a serious level about the nature of the divine feminine, the stuff that is secret from you, the stuff that is actually hidden from you. And I do know that most of the things that you're doing is backwards. That I can say, it's backwards. It's very much backwards. And once we understand and study our own pre-colonial history, and our own esoteric sciences, and our own mystery schools, then we will start to see, we kind of got to step back on this, and we don't need to follow this high, what y'all following Kevin Samuels about high value, the Western patriarchal white male shit that he was promoting in this community. And you didn't see the marriage rates rise. You did not see the marriage rates rise as a result of him being in this community, talking, having a mic like that. You saw more fighting as a result. You didn't see more stable family units. You didn't see more businesses. You didn't see anything. You didn't see. To me, if it was such a great, powerful message, you would see more marriages. You would see less infighting. But that shit that y'all love listening and following, it wasn't rooted in his own melanated science. It wasn't rooted like how y'all think it is. And if you keep following, being brainwashed, and mentally enslaved to another man's thinking, Western thinking, it's not your thinking. Then to be honest, I'm just gonna give up on my work, man. If I find that I'm not getting no headway, I'm not about to just be a long suffering. Nah, that shit is mentally taxing. If I find out that y'all just don't give a shit, and I'm the only one that give a shit, and nobody cares, if I find that out, and I'm not gonna sit up there and be 20, 30 years trying to say the same thing over and over again. I put it all out in books, put it all out, say what I gotta say, and I'm moving the fuck on. If I find out that black men don't care about their own power, about getting power, and if I find out, if y'all break my heart like that and y'all tell me, yo, we really don't care, we really cogs in a machine, we gonna be sheep, and we're not challenging the system, we don't care about this system, there is no, we want to work with the white man. We want to still be slaves, mentally enslaved. We don't want nothing intellectual. We don't care about nothing empowering. If y'all tell me that through your actions, after I do this work and the things I want to do for this community, if I find that I'm not getting any legway with this community, and that goes for the black women, because a lot of my work is for black women too. I love black women. If y'all tell me that y'all don't give a shit, and y'all that brainwash, oh, I'm moving the fuck on. Oh, I'll let y'all niggas have this. I'm like, y'all, because I already know what's gonna happen. You won't get anywhere with it. You're self-destructing. You're pretty much self-destruct. And if my message can't get out there, because I'm already being, kind of like blackballed in a sense. Like, I'm kind of shadow banned and shit. I kind of can sense certain things. It is what it is. But if I find that y'all just don't give a shit as black people, then I'm just taking my shit, moving on. I will expand. That I know for a fact that we could all be doing more. But if I find out y'all don't care about community, y'all don't care about family, y'all don't care about power, then I have to leave you to your own demise, right? I can't force nothing on you. No one can change anyone. So I'll be putting in my last bid to help my people. See, as my last incarnation on this planet, actually, it's been my last. I didn't have to reincarnate here. I decided to come back, and I wanted to come back, and I kind of bit off a little more than I could chew, but I decided to come back to planet Earth. I did not have to come back here. No one has to reincarnate. That's another thing they don't tell you. You don't have to actually reincarnate here to evolve your soul, and then you don't even remember what the fuck you did in your past life. It's a trick. That's a trick. You don't have to come back. You can actually create your own planet. You can actually create your own universe. They don't tell you that because they want humans to externalize their power. They don't want humans to know how powerful they are. Yep, but and we'll talk about that. We'll get into some esoteric sciences. That would be real cool. Teaching you to prepare for, if this is your last incarnation as well. But this is my last incarnation. I want to take one last stab at helping the melanated people of this world fix this planet and get back in a position of power, because this is not normal. This is not a normal planet. Your planet has been completely hijacked. Okay, like, this is not how the original people should be living. You see the state of Africa? Oh my gosh. I'm like, it's like damn near give me a heart attack looking at that shit. Looking at how they living over there. Like that, and to knowing the truth. Knowing like with me, I really know the truth of how we got in this situation. Like most black people are very much in denial of it, and they have a aversion to it because it's so painful. Because they have to realize that they kind of shot themselves in the foot. It's not just the evil bad white man, like we like to tell, like we like to say. That don't mean they ain't do no evil shit. That ain't mean that they are innocent. They not off the hook for what they did and what they continue to do. They not off the hook. But a lot of this motion was set in place by our own people, and that's something we don't ever want to take any accountability for. But when I see like the state of Africa, and I'm like, damn, all them billions of people over there, not one country in power like that. That shit bothers me. I'm like, what is melanated people? It's like, that's not normal. That's not normal. And I look at the state of the Caribbean, and then, Black Americans, we like the leaders and stuff, but we suffering too. And it's like, no, melanated people are not supposed to be at the bottom like this. They're not. That's what I know. So I'll take one last stab at it. If y'all tell me, y'all give me your ass to kiss, look, I think I got about 10 more years left in me. 10 more years. If y'all give me your ass to kiss, I'm going right back in the Matrix, and you'll never hear from me again in that capacity. You won't hear from me. You won't hear my mouth. But you won't hear me. I will collect evidence of you telling me to next. I'm going to start collecting evidence of your response to what I'm saying. If I find out that you don't give a shit, I'm collecting the evidence of it, and I'm gonna tell y'all, you deserve what you get. You deserve it because you're not listening, and you don't care about your own empowerment. You don't care. So prove me wrong. I hope you prove me wrong. I hope that you do care. I know many of you do, and maybe I'll just work with those who just care. Maybe that's the next step anyways. It's just to work with just the people that think like you. Just work with the people that think like you and forget the rest of the world. And that's very hard to do because I'm always in like help mode, but it's like, because I'm a giver, and I love to give and I love to love. So it's like, I don't know how to turn that off. Like, how do you just be selfish and be like, fuck the rest of the people that don't think like me. I only want to work with the people that do think like me. I'm only for the people that think like me. I don't know how to do that yet, so I'm learning. So, Frances Cress Welsing, she died in Washington, D.C. She died on January 2nd, 2016. She was hospitalized. I think she had like 3 strokes. And she was 80 years old. So she lived a good age. 80 is decent, But she always wanted to tell us, that, racism does not excuse weakness. It demands strength. It demands you thinking of a plan to get your ass back in power. Okay? So, I'll be coming out with a plan on how to rebuild a whole micro cities for Black Americans. I'll be doing that. And, it's a whole governance system that I'm outlaying, a whole enterprise architecture that I'm outlaying for Black Americans. If you guys, I know I'm small, I'm a small YouTuber, so like most people don't see it a bit, but I think eventually people will see it, as I get older, and maybe even after my death, and maybe the book may be obsolete by that time. But it is an outline on governance structure, procuring water, procuring land, community trust funds, getting completely empowered, like completely like independent, So it's a very detailed book into complete autonomy. For those who want it, again, you find the people that think like you, and you start that up, and it's a program. So it's literally redoing the program that you currently have and putting new programming in there. So let me get off of here. I've been rambling for a long time. I didn't mean to talk so much like that, but Frances Cress Welsing, she encourages that type of thinking in me to come out. She's definitely, again, a brilliant mind. I thank her so much. So we're going to talk again. I'm going to talk to y'all later, and I love y'all. So make sure to keep your head up. Talk to you later. Bye.